Hey everyone, so I'm going to explore with you today the two minimalist principles and efforts to save more money. This is literally two questions you can ask yourself before you make any spending decision. This can also apply to time and energy that you invest into people and resources and other things. But specifically today, we are going to be talking about how we can save more money by embodying these two questions or principles, however you want to pose it. But I'm going to call them questions, okay? So, first of all, before we dive into it, if you don't understand what minimalism is already, to me, minimalism is a mindset, it's a way of thinking or understanding the relationship between what we invest our time, energy, and money into based on our values, beliefs, and our goals. So a lot of the times we spend our time, money, and energy in things that aren't of benefit, that don't add to our lives, that don't allow us to expand, that don't allow us to be embodied in the way in which we actually want to live authentically and show up in the world. And a lot of that can be a number of things. It could be, our own personal traumas based on our own, upbringings or stories or backgrounds, the experiences, the hard and challenging experiences in which we've all had to share in one form or another. This can also be society, the external pressures, the illusions of the matrix, and the pressures in which society expects us to perform and to be and to live and to participate in a certain way. And if we don't, then we are told that we are not worthy, that we do not belong, and therefore we feel out of place. This is a big reason why there's a lot of FOMO in the world right now, especially when it comes to consumerism and capitalism, feeling like we have to partake in certain experiences, we have to have certain things in order to feel whole and to feel happy and to feel successful. And so minimalism essentially is that out of the box idea that what if to live a quality life, to live a whole, nurturing, and secure life is through understanding innately who we are by embodying our values and our goals and our beliefs and being in alignment with those three so that we can essentially live up to our own expectations of what we want for ourselves outside of the noise of what is expected of us, right? So we are no longer performing for others. We are getting in tune and in alignment with our higher self, what we are here for, our purpose, our gifts, our talents, how we can use our creative source and soul and essence to be of service to each other and to be the highest expression of ourselves. And so the two questions that you'd want to pose to yourself before you spend your money on anything, right? This is if you're going shopping, whether online or in person, or maybe it's an investment that you're about to make in yourself, really check in with yourself by asking this first question. Is what I'm spending my money on in alignment with my values? And of course, in order to answer this, you need to know what your values are. So this is something you can explore with me within the Wealth Well, some of my services, my coaching services that I have, or you can research on your own some of the values, some common values that are out there, and do a little exercise with yourself and see which values speak to you. I would choose your top three values and stick with those when you are making decisions in your life, not even just regarding your finances, but in your life, when you're about to make a decision, when you are asking yourself a tough question as to whether you should participate in something, whether you should interact with somebody, is that experience or that interaction in alignment with your values and what you stand for? And I promise you, by living your life with such alignment and authenticity and congruency and integrity, that you will feel more fulfilled, more purposeful, and more whole. You will feel much more joy. You'll be able to navigate life with ease because you are no longer performing for others. The second question that you'd want to ask yourself before you make any purchasing decision or just any decision in general is, what I'm spending my money on, is it in alignment with my goals? So values and goals are a little bit different, right? Values are essentially, a value is something that is more internal. It is something that comes from within. It is a type of trait that you want to identify yourself with, right? And then your goals is something that's a bit more external. It's something that you're searching for, that you desire, that you feel like is outside of yourself, or something that you don't already have, that you want to be in possession of, right? So a goal may be to acquire something. Maybe it's to purchase your first home. Maybe it is to take a trip to a specific country. Maybe it is to get married. Maybe it's to find a new job. These are goals. These are things that are internal desires that are expressed externally into our reality, right? Of what we want. Something that we don't quite maybe have as yet, that we want to experience, or that we want to be in possession of. So also, when you're spending your money on things, a really great way to help yourself to save in the long term is not only asking yourself, well, what are my values, and does this purchase align with my values, but does this purchase also align with my goals? And so I'm going to give you a great example of this. Just personal experiences throughout my life that, embodying these minimalist principles, asking myself these two questions has really helped me to fast track my way to success and to really manifest the things that are actually important to me. So, for example, some of my values, right? I would say my top three are spirituality, health, and integrity. And so when it comes to spirituality, it does not mean that I'm going to spend a lot of money on spiritual things, right? Like, when we think of spirituality, some people may think like, oh, crystals and tarot cards and all those fun things that come with maybe spirituality, or, a religious book, or religious gatherings, or trips and excursions. Like, spirituality really, in essence, is about nurturing the self, right? It is having that connection with source. And in having that connection with source, you are nurturing yourself. You are embodying the highest expression of who you are and living with full alignment because of this really inherent connection that you have with this higher power. And that is really important to me, because without this connection to this higher source and power that's created me, I lack trust. I am harder on myself. I become more anxious. I become more stressed because I am not living in alignment. I am allowing this material world to eat away and tear away at the soul and the essence and the beauty that is me, that already is, that I am already magnificent with what I have right now in this moment. And really having this spiritual understanding, whether it's within a religious context or outside of it, has really helped me to catapult my life into the life that I've been able to have today, and to create the life that I love and to share it with you. My health is another value, because it's really important to me to show up in this world. Like, I want to be healthy. I want to feel my best and look my best. And so I'm going to eat the foods that are going to contribute to that, right? I am going to exercise. I'm going to do all the things that doctors say you should do in order to live longer, in order to feel good about yourself, in order to have a strong mindset, right? Mental health is also equally important. So if I can invest in things that aid in my mental health, that reduce the stress and anxiety and the burnout that we so often feel, I am going to do just that. And my money is going to go into that area. Integrity is a value that's important to me, because I am going to do what I say. I am not going to preach to people something that I do not practice within my own life. I value honesty above anything else. And that is really important, an important value for me to have as a coach as well. I want people to look up to me. I want to be a good role model, and I am okay with being a good role model and wanting to step into that role. I know some people don't want to be in that role, but I'm willing to be in that role, because every day I am working on becoming the best version of myself. So I want to be that walking example for others to also become the best version of themselves. I may not always get it right. It may not be in alignment with what you think is the best version of yourself, but we should all strive to be the best version of ourselves, however that is manifested and how that may look. And so when I'm spending money on things, I'm gonna make sure that those check off the boxes, at least one out of the three. It doesn't have to be all three. And we also, we don't value just three things. There are a lot of other things that we value, but I think to make it easier, especially when you're in the moment making a decision, you don't really have time to you don't have 5 minutes. I mean, you could ask the person for some more time to think about something or give yourself the space and time to make the decision. But, you really want to be able within, at least a couple minutes to come up with a decision, or at least have some kind of consensus as to whether this is in alignment with my values or not, right? Some of the goals, right, that I'm currently working on, for example, is to write a book. And writing a book really doesn't cost much money if you think about it, so I'm kind of in the clear there. But there are some goals that may cost some money, right? So for example, purchasing a home. You need to save a certain amount of money in order to put a down payment on a home, or maybe you might want to buy a home outright. That is gonna cost you a lot, right? And so you need to save. So what are the steps that you're taking in order to save money so that you can accomplish that goal? I want to help more clients, and to help some clients, I mean, making YouTube videos doesn't cost any money, but there are some operational aspects of my business that do cost money, right? So there are certain platforms that I use that require money. There's maybe coaching that sometimes I invest in that requires money. So everything somewhat comes with a cost, right? Anything that we want in our lives, anything that we want to experience or possess, it usually costs money. And this is why having a great relationship with your money is important, because a lot of the decisions that we make in our lives is based upon our finances, whether we have the income and the money to do so, to support that decision. And so if you are able to save more money, you are able to now use that money towards things that are more important for you and that are going to propel you towards the success and the desire that you want to bring into reality. So keeping in mind these two questions, if you're spending your money on something, is it in alignment with your goals? Is it in alignment with your values? And I also want you to realize and understand that there's always a safer and cheaper way to do something, right? So that can give you the same results, if not better. And so when I say, before you spend your money on something, make sure it's in alignment with your goals and your values, understand that you do not have to spend a lot of money on something in order to get you to where you want to be, right? A lot of the change that we see, or a lot of the change that we want and desire in our lives, doesn't actually have to do anything with spending money. It really comes from within. A lot of the things that are needed, the tools and the resources, are actually free and at our disposal. Especially on the internet, you can research a bunch of things, gain so much wisdom and knowledge on how to work towards a goal and how to achieve something, right? Some people need a little bit more help than others, and that's maybe where therapy may come in, especially if it has to do with mindset and your health and your well-being. Maybe it's something more practical, like your finances, where you might want to work with a financial advisor or a coach like myself, right, to really get those tangible results. But whatever it may be, always know that there is a safer and a cheaper option and a way to do something that is not going to harm others, that's not going to harm the planet. I think we also need to, keep in mind sustainability and being a steward to each other and the planet. So always keep that in mind as well, and that you do not have to compromise or sacrifice on any of those in order to get better results. Also, just because something is in alignment still doesn't mean you have to invest your time, energy, and money on things, right? Sometimes the timing just may not be it. Sometimes it's that, like I said, maybe you don't even need to spend money on it. You can find alternative ways to invest in yourself that doesn't cost anything. And the third thing I want you to understand and keep in mind, even with these two questions framed, is to not always have to spend your money to invest in yourself, right? Some investments can help fast track your desires and goals. And I think that is the importance of sometimes investing in ourselves and spending money on things to get us to our goals faster. But you really essentially do not have to spend any money to create the life that you love. I think that is part of the lie, feeling like, to feel beautiful, you have to purchase and wear makeup, you have to be in a relationship, you have to get married and have this huge wedding, you have to buy the home to feel secure and to feel sheltered, you have to have 6 figures in your job or in your business to feel whole and to feel like you're successful and you're doing things right and you're living the dream. Like, these are all illusions. And I think to remember that you already have everything that you need right now, to remain in that energy of being grateful, to practice gratitude. And really, gratitude is key. Gratitude really is the secret sauce to everything. If you already didn't know, like, if you're able to practice gratitude, the way that you will be able to manifest things into your life, child, trust me on it. Gratitude, already feeling like you have enough, is the secret sauce. You're allowed to have more, but you already have everything that you need. And if you need to spend a little money, sprinkle a little money in order to get to where you need to be faster or to experience something that you want, not sure. But you don't need to spend money in order to have the thing that it is that you want to experience or possess. For example, and I'm talking about the internal feeling that we all want, the eternal goal that we're all kind of working on, which is really to just be happy. That's really essentially all that we want. We just want to be happy. We just want to be living the life that we love. And I don't need to have a bunch of books in order to feel happy. I can just go for a walk and be in nature, and that can make me happy. Like, I can talk to a good friend, and that can make me happy. Like, there are a lot of things that we can do that don't cost anything, that can give us that sense of well-being and nurturing and belonging that we all desire. A great example of this, like, spirituality was one of my values, right? And so something that I really love to buy are crystals and tarot cards. You may see them right behind me there. I have some tarot decks and my crystals, and I haven't purchased a crystal and a tarot deck in like 2 or 3 years. Like, it's been a really long time since I've purchased anything because I don't really need any more tarot cards. Like, I have 3 tarot cards that do its job. And if I have the money, sure. But right now, I have other goals that I'm working on. There are other things that I want to put my time and energy into, right? And if I'm spending money on a new tarot deck every month or a new crystal every month, that kind of takes away from me being able to add to my investments, right? Maybe my crypto, my stocks. That takes away from me being able to add money into my savings to buy a house. That may take away money from me to invest back into my business. And so these are some of the high-end decisions, the high-value decisions that you are going to have to make when it comes to really creating that life that you love. In which ways are you spending your money that's holding you back and is actually keeping you stuck, right? In which ways are you sabotaging yourself by spending money on fleeting things, on fleeting wants for the now instead of needs to build your future? And that is essentially what you are going to want to really come back to and check in on yourself with before spending your money on anything. It is those 2 things. Is your spending in alignment with your values? And is your spending in alignment with your goals? And if they both are no's, you probably shouldn't be spending your money on it. There are a lot of things that come into play, but I think if you really embody these 2 minimalist principles, understanding that sometimes delayed gratification, sometimes having less actually propels you to having more than the near future. And embodying and better getting to understand who you are and not allowing other voices, other expectations from society and family and friends and people close to you to dictate how you should live your life is really the defining factor in how you're going to be able to be successful and how you're going to be able to truly authentically live life in the way that makes the most sense to you and that is the most meaningful. So if you found this video to be helpful, please make sure to like and to share. Please also subscribe. I have more videos like this coming down the works, and I want you to be a part of it. I want you to really understand what it takes to create the life you love. If you haven't already signed up for my email list, please make sure to also join it as well. I have all the details in the description below so that you can also hear more stories from me about ways that you can build wealth, manifest, and really create the life that you love, improve your overall well-being so that you can go out there and do the things that you want to do, love to do, go after those goals and be successful at it. Until next time, guys, take care.